Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Students, now continue with the next topic. Okay, this is the last part of this chapter and also the last part of our syllabus. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Paradox of thrift. Okay, so the paradox of thrift is a paradox of economics. Okay, so the paradox states that an increase in autonomous saving leads to a decrease in aggregate demand and thus a decrease in gross output. Okay, so when you increase the autonomous saving, what happens? It leads to decrease in aggregate demand, and when there is decrease in aggregate demand, it leads to decrease in gross output. Okay, and this in turn will lower total saving. Okay, so the total saving may fall because of individuals attempt to increase their saving. See, broadly speaking, that increase in saving may be harmful to an economy. So if all the people of an economy increase the proportion of income they save, correct? So if all the people of the economy increase the proportion of income they save, okay, that is if the MPS of the economy increases. Okay, when the marginal propensity of saving increases, the total value of saving in the economy will not increase. Correct? So if MPS of the economy increases, the total value of saving in the economy will not increase. Okay, it will either decline or it will remain unchanged. Okay, so this result is known as paradox of thrift. Okay, so which states that as people become more thrifty and they end up saving less. Okay, as people become more thrifty they end up saving less or same as before. Okay, so this result, though sounds apparently impossible, it actually a simple application of the model. Okay, so let us explain the same thing with the help of an example. Okay, so let us continue with the example. Suppose at the initial equilibrium of y, that is the income is 250. Okay, so there is an autonomous shift in people's expenditure pattern. Okay, so now the income is 250 and there is a autonomous shift in people's expenditure pattern. Okay, they suddenly became more thrifty. Okay, they have suddenly become more thrifty. It may be because of any new information regarding the because of the imminent war or because of any diseases, okay, which make people more conscious, okay, or conservative about the expenditure. Hence the MPS of the economy increases. Okay, hence because of this the MPS of the economy is increasing. Or alternatively, the MPC, that is marginal propensity to consume, it is decreasing. Okay, the marginal propensity to consume is decreasing and marginal propensity to save is increasing. So this marginal propensity to consume, that is MPC, it is decreasing from 0.8 to 0.5. So at the initial income level, aggregate demand 1, where your income is 250, as I've told you in my example. Okay, the aggregate demand is equal to income. Okay, in our assumption. So where the aggregate demand is 250, which is equal to income, that is 250. It's sudden because of the sudden decline in MPC, that is marginal propensity to consume, will imply a decrease in aggregate consumption. Okay, because of the sudden decrease in MPC, okay, there will be a decline in aggregate consumption, okay, spending, and hence in aggregate demand AD is equal to A bar plus CY. So by an amount equal to 0.8 minus 0.5, okay. Okay, that is 250 is equal to 75. Okay, this can be regarded as an autonomous reduction in consumption expenditure to the extent that the change in MPC is occurring from some exogenous causes and is not a consequence of change in a variable of the model. Okay, but as aggregate demand decreases by 75, it falls short of output. Okay, when the aggregate demand when the aggregate demand decreases by 75, what happens? The output is also less. So here your income y, okay, y1 is 250, and this emerges an excess supply which is equal to 75 in the economy. That means when your output is income is 250 and everyone start saving, this will lead to excess supply which is equal to 75 in the economy. So stocks are piling up in warehouses, and producer decide to cut the value of production by 75 in the next round to restore the equilibrium in the market. Because of this thrift, what happens is there is an excess excess supply. So since there is excess supply, the producer, okay, they decide to cut the value of production by 75 so that in the next round it can restore the equilibrium in the market, okay, in the economy, or to restore the equilibrium in the market so that the aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. But that would be a reduction in factor payment. So when this happens, when the producer decide to cut off the production, this will result in reduction in factor payment. Okay, so factor payment, such as you all know, that is wages, profit, interest, then interest and rent. Okay, so when there is reduction in factor payment in the next round, and hence hence it will also lead to reduction in income by 75. So as people decrease, as this income decreases, people reduce consumption proportionately, okay, and this time, according to the new value of MPC, which is 0.5, consumption expenditure and hence aggregate demand decreases by 0.5, okay, which creates again an excess supply in the market. Okay, so in the next round, therefore, producer reduces output further. Okay, so again, so that they can restore the equilibrium in the market. So income of the people decreases accordingly, and consumption expenditure and aggregate demand goes up again, okay, by 0.5 to 0.5 the whole square. So the process goes on. So however, as we refrain from the dwelling values of successive round effects, the process is convergent. Okay, so what is the total decrease in the value of output and aggregate demand? Add up the infinite series, that is 75 plus 0.5 into 75 plus 0.5 the whole square into 75, okay, and it continues infinite. Okay, and the total reduction in the output turns out, okay, that is 75 divided by 1 minus 0.5, okay, that what you get is 150. See, this means that the new equilibrium output of an economy is only Y2 is 100. People are now saving S2. Okay, savings 2 is equal to Y2 minus C2. Okay, so what is Y2? It is the income, C is consumption. Okay, okay, that means 100, when the saving is 100. Okay, so Y2 is your income. So when you do that, or just see the new equilibrium which is given in the textbook. Okay, that is Y2 is equal to 100. So when Y2 is equal to 100, people are now saving S2. Okay, so S2 is equal to Y2 minus C2. Okay, which is equal to Y2 minus C bar plus C2 into Y2, okay, which is equal to 100. Okay, so the same equation, when you write numerically, 100 minus 40 plus 0.5 into 100, okay, which is equal to 10 in aggregate, whereas under the previous equation they were saving S1, which is equal to Y1 minus C1, okay, which is equal to Y1 minus C bar plus C1 Y1, okay, which is equal to 250 minus 40 plus 0.8 into 250, okay, which is equal to 10, okay. So in our previous MPC, C1 was 0.8 and the total value of saving in the economy has therefore remained unchanged, okay. So A bar changes, the line shift, see when the A bar changes, autonomous consumption changes, the line shifts upward or downward in parallel, okay. When C changes, however, the line swings up or down, okay. So an increase in MPS or a decrease in MPC reduces the slope of aggregate demand, okay. So it reduces the slope of aggregate demand line and it swings downward to depict, okay. So you can see that in this figure, okay. At the initial value of parameter, A bar is equal to 50 and C is equal to, that is consumption, is equal to point A. The equilibrium value of the output and aggregate demand from equation was Cy is equal to 50 divided by 1 minus 0.8, which is equal to 250, okay. So under the changed value of parameter, C is equal to 0.5, correct, it is equal to 0.5. So the new equilibrium value of output and aggregate demand is Y2 is equal to 50 divided by 1 minus 0.5, which is equal to 100, okay. So that means the income has changed from 250 to, it has declined from 250 to 100. So the equilibrium output and equilibrium demand has declined by 150. See, from 250 it has come to 100, okay. So the equilibrium output has declined and also the aggregate demand has declined by 150, okay. So okay, so this is all about paradox of thrift, okay, which simply means that which means that increase in autonomous saving leads to decrease in aggregate demand and thus a decrease in gross output, okay, and which in turn will decrease or lower the total saving, okay. So the total saving may fall because of individual attempt to increase their saving, okay. You have the last thing in this chapter which talks about the deficient demand, that is the deficit demand and excess demand, okay. So you all know the equilibrium output in the economy also determines the level of employment, okay, given the quantities of other factors of production, okay. It means the level of output determined by equation of Y with AD does not necessarily mean that the level of output at which everyone is employed. So full employment, see when I say full employment level of income, is that level of income where all the factors of production are fully employed in the production process, okay. So this is called as full employment, where all the factors of production are fully employed, okay, in the production process. When I say equilibrium only means that if left to itself, the level of income in the economy will not change even when there is an unemployment in the economy, okay. The equilibrium level of output may be more or less than the full employment level of output. See, if it is less than the full employment of output, it is due to the fact that demand is not enough to employ all the factors of production, okay, and this situation is called as deficit demand, okay, and it leads to decline in price in the long run. See, on the other hand, if the equilibrium level of output is more than full employment level, okay, the equilibrium level of output is more than full employment level, it is due to fact that the demand is more than the level of output produced at full employment level, okay, and this situation is called as excess demand, okay, and this will lead to rise in the price in the long run, okay. So when at a particular price level, aggregate demand for final goods equals aggregate supply of final goods, the final goods or the product market reaches its equilibrium, okay. So aggregate demand for final goods consists of ex ante consumption, that is the planned consumption, and ex ante investment, that is planned investment and government expenditure. Okay, so etc. Okay, it is planned consumption, planned investment, government expenditure, etc. And the rate of increase in ex ante consumption due to unit increase in income is called as marginal propensity to consume. Okay, so the rate of increase in planned consumption due to unit increase in income is called as marginal propensity to consume. Okay, which is done already, you all know about it. Okay, so for simplicity, we assume a constant final goods price and constant rate of interest over short run to determine the level of aggregate demand for final goods in the economy. So we also assume that the aggregate supply is perfectly elastic at the price. So under such circumstance, aggregate output is determined solely by the level of aggregate demand. Okay, and this is called as effective demand principle. So an increase in autonomous spending causes aggregate output of final goods to increase. Okay, so when there is an increase in autonomous spending, it will cause to increase in final goods, aggregate output of final goods, okay, by a large amount through the multiplier process. And same thing, when there is a decrease in autonomous spending, it will cause aggregate output of final goods to decrease by a large amount through the multiplier process. Okay, so this is all about this chapter, and alhamdulillah we have come to the end of our syllabus. Okay students, if you have doubt, do contact me. Jazakallah khairan.